If you're just starting out with your healthy whole plant food diet, aka healthy plant-based diet, I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but I'm here to cut through all that and make it really, really easy for you. I want to talk to you today about the things that most commonly derail people from actually sticking to this and achieving their health in the long run. Here we go. Hey everybody, this is Dylan. The purpose of my videos aren't just to get you onto a healthy plant-based diet, but to make it so easy that you'll actually stick to it forever and achieve great health. I want to talk to you today about the things that derail people most commonly. Getting started is hard. Getting started with anything is hard. There's always a little bit of a learning curve, but I have good news. You do not need to be a plant-based diet expert in order to start getting your health back, eating healthy food. All you have to do is change the things that you're eating and get your lifestyle in order and in a way that you feel you can sustain for the long term, and you'll be there. You don't need to know every little bit of scientific fact. You don't have to prove to yourself that you know all the science. You don't have to convince others in your life that you're doing it right. You can just get on board and start eating the right food. If you're wondering where to start, the place to start is go to any of our hundreds of YouTube recipe videos and start eating only that food. And in the meantime, you can also watch some of our other videos like this plant rant, where we're going to talk about some of the details about this that may help you to make sense of it all emotionally. Where you really need to start is just start eating the right food. Mechanically, it's just a little bit of cooking and eating. We have tons of very easy recipes that don't even require you to chop. You can do this, you can get started now, and you don't need to become an expert. But I will start to educate you, watch some of our videos, and you'll get a real feel for how and why this works, and you'll be able to stick to it for the long run. But don't get caught up on all of these details. What I want to talk to you about today is what we call the beginner's dilemma. All of the things that can knock you off of your plant-based diet because you aren't going to see them coming, like someone like me who's been doing this for 10 plus years. I also made a video recently about the perfection trap, which is another trap we can get into that keeps us from sticking to this long term. Number one, we are so used to, with the standard American diet, of forming our plate into like a main course, which is usually like your meat thing, and then a bunch of side dishes around it. This can be very challenging. It's one of the reasons why people who eat that way don't actually cook all their meals, and they end up eating out a lot, in my opinion, because we've complicated the meal plate way too much. You do not need multiple courses and sides and then a dessert after. You can just eat one single one-pot meal. Heck, you could just eat a can of beans with a little bit of flavoring added to it. Extremely healthy meal. You cannot get much healthier than that. The problem is there's not a lot of excitement to that, so asking yourself to just eat a can of beans every day with a little bit of garlic and onion powder is not really sustainable. So we need to dress it up a little bit and make a nice healthy recipe that also has a little pizzazz to it, but we don't need to get you into where you're having a mouthgasm in every bite and everything's laden with fat, oil, salt, tons of sugar. These things are all found in our processed foods today, out on the store shelves. All of that, the oil, the salt, the sugar, is all compacted into one product, and you take a bite of that and you cannot stop. That is not how we should be eating. Let's focus on a really simple way of eating, which is just make a one-pot meal and eat that. A really rich, hearty stew, eat that. And I'll not just eat that for one meal, but I'll eat that all day long. I'll make one big pot of it earlier in the day, and then I'll sip off of it all day long. This is how you must eat if you want to sustain this way of eating. You cannot ask yourself to cook every single meal, something new every day. We see all these meal planners where they've got like 21 different meals in a week, and you're having to make tons of different recipes. It's so overwhelming. You have to dial this back. Any of our cookbooks would be so great for beginners because you can just pick 5 or 6 recipes and then just do those on repeat the whole week. Make a big portion, eat it all day, or eat it as leftovers the next day. You can't tell they're leftovers when you reheat them, folks, by the way. This is not like your standard American food. It's just not the same at all. So you just want to focus on a few simple recipes, easy recipes, especially if you're just starting out. You don't want to be doing a bunch of fancy artwork with your knife, okay? Get fed and start to readapt your taste buds to a simpler palate that is not so full of the fat, which is making people fat. It's the fat that makes people fat. It's the tons of fat laden with all the sugar too that gives people the diabetes and autoimmune disorders, heart attack, stroke. These foods are the problem. If you can just go back to whole natural foods like whole starches, potatoes, legumes, lentils, beans, rice, quinoa, millet, all of the healthy foods, then you will not have these problems with the blood sugar. It might take you a little time for your body to come back to a normal zone, but you will get there. It's been proven time and time again. I wake up every morning morning and I read messages from people saying how this way of eating has helped them. It's saved their life, and it can save yours too. And it was my motivation for coming on to YouTube to begin with 7 years ago. Holy schmokeroli. So that's number one, is reforming your plate and not worrying about having these main dishes with all of these sides. That's fun at Thanksgiving, sure. We talk about that all the time. That's fun for your Christmas meals, your holiday meals, but you don't eat that way day in, day out, or you won't be able to sustain it. If you want to achieve health, then most of the food is going to have to be produced by you. Yes, Well Your World makes some healthy food products where we try to just save you more time and energy. I'm not selling you a bottle of sauce, I'm selling you time and effort. And if I can help you to lower the cost, the emotional and physical cost of eating this way, then you'll stick to it for longer. So that is what you've got to do, is just make it really, really easy. Focus on simple, easy meals like the ones in our videos, and you will find that you can stick to this. As for your other family members, we're not talking about them right now, but they're just gonna have to figure out how to eat either the way you wanna eat, or they're gonna have to make their own food. Such is life. It's time to grow up, folks. The time-consuming fancy meals are going to get you into trouble. Focus on fewer recipes and easier recipes, which happens to be everything that we do on this channel. Recipe FOMO, fear of missing out, FOMO, is a big thing for people. They just have to buy every recipe book, and if it's plant-based, they want it, even if it's not healthy plant-based. And there are a lot of cookbooks that are not healthy plant-based. We eat only healthy plant-based. All the recipes in our cookbooks are free of added salt, oil, and sugar. They're healthy, whole, natural foods. You want to sprinkle a little salt on your food? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of salt. The problem is the standard American diet is full of excess salt, like so much salt, and it's raising our blood pressure, and it's making it very hard for us to actually live naturally in a healthy zone without needing meds. I want to get you there without needing the blood pressure and the cholesterol medication. These are two of the most commonly prescribed meds, and now we have weight loss, the Ozempics and all of the whatever it's called, that's where you just inject yourself or whatever and you can suddenly lose weight. Well, these are not a healthy way to live. You're telling yourself that you're sick and you're going to be on meds for the rest of your life. You can get there without it, and I want to help you to make that easier. So give up on all of these other fancy recipes that you don't need to be focusing on. Give up on the meal planners, the 21 days and the 28-day meal planners. You don't need to focus on getting more recipes. You need to focus on simplifying the number of recipes. If anything, buy our books. They're not overwhelming. They're not full of hundreds of recipes. They're full of a few dozen recipes so that you can just get started right now and get lots of flavor into your diet and just eat only those foods. And if you don't want to spend the money, fine. Watch our YouTube videos. We'd love for you to support us, but our YouTube videos are completely free. We also have a cooking show. Join us there. Our cooking show is an amazing opportunity to connect with real people who eat like you and to watch our long-form cooking. You can see just how much you can do in 90 minutes of cooking. I make several recipes and a whole show. So you can see that, and you'll see for yourself from start to finish of a recipe that this is not hard. You can do this, and we'd love to have you. All the links for all the things I'm talking about are down below. But our Facebook group is also a great resource, a free resource with thousands of people who eat like you and support one another. You'll love it in there. We don't have any of that judgy garbage in the group where you have to eat this like perfect, healthy, plant-based diet in every step of the way with these rigid rules. No, we're just trying to get you to eat free of all of the added junk like the salt, the oil, and the sugar. Do that in our group and you'll have a great time. Another pitfall as part of the beginner's dilemma is overthinking a day of eating. Instead of worrying about what you're gonna get in your diet every single day in order to maximize your health, you should think more broadly, like a whole week of eating or a month of eating. Make sure you're getting a wide variety of foods, but you don't have to get them every single day. You can skip greens one day and you'll still be healthy. I have great news for you. If you don't get turmeric in your diet every day and every meal, you're still going to be able to achieve great health. Obviously, you want to get a wide variety in all these health foods, such as in Michael Greger's The Daily Dozen. The list is true. These are very healthy foods. The science backs that you should eat those foods, but trying to call them Daily Dozen is what kind of bothers me, because it makes people think that they have to go to so much trouble in order to get all of this in one day, when really that is the wrong way of looking at it. Instead of focusing on getting these foods in every day, you need to focus on what you're taking out of your diet every day. Because if you remove all of the processed junk and the fat and the fake food, you'll be left with only real healthy food. And then in order to get full, you're just gonna have to eat enough of those foods every day in order to feel full and satisfied. Problem solved. You didn't have to say, today I'm gonna eat 6 potatoes. You said, today I'm not going to eat 6 donuts. What am I gonna replace it with if I can't eat that? Healthy food. And now you're eating it. And so you don't have to focus on the Daily Dozen or Dr. Furman's the G-Bombs or any of these acronyms or whatever, these hard, rigid regimens of what to get every day. Your goal shouldn't be to live till you're 120. Your goal should be to die healthfully, to die at the end of it all without having spent the last 10 years of your life sick, unhealthy, with someone else taking care of you because of the diet that you had for your whole life. Party on, am I right? Focus instead on eating a sustainable diet that you can actually stick to, and chances are this will set you up for the best success possible as far as longevity, the length of your life, and then feeling well through all of those years. Don't make your goal some kind of number, a weight number, a number of years of age number before you die. Make your goal enjoying every day of your life with the people that you care about, with your loved ones, by eating healthy food and feeling well. And that's all you've got to focus on. Do not get trapped by the beginner's dilemma. It will throw you off every time. So many people are making this excuse that it's too hard, that it's too expensive. We eat the cheapest food in the world by far. Way cheaper than meat, way cheaper than dairy. This is the cheapest way to eat. They're dry starches. This is peasant food, folks. You can do it. You can stick to it. But you've got to get through these little beginner's dilemmas. There's a little bit of a learning curve, not much. Watch our videos, watch my cooking videos and you'll see that. Watch these plant rants and you'll learn a little bit more. If you want, read some of the books, but that's it. You do not need to fixate on watching every single YouTube video about healthy plant-based from every single doctor. You don't have to have this stuff memorized. You don't have to spout it off to your friends or your family who you're trying to convert. Just keep to yourself. Find people like you, either through Well Your World, through our Facebook, through our cooking show. Feel supported through those relationships and save the other relationships that you have for everything else. Talk about sports, politics, religion, all the other things. Have those fights instead. But don't have this fight because it's going to affect your actual physical health and it will shorten your life, and I hate to see that happen to you. Focus on the mechanics, the process over the outcome. Focus on every day getting back on track, eating the healthy food, staying on track, and you will reach the outcomes that you want. But you can't control how fast the outcome comes. You can't control when you're going to die or what weight you're going to be at. So just eat the right food and you will feel well, energized, and you'll wake up feeling happy and ready to take on the day. I hope this helps you to stay out of the beginner's dilemma, and this applies also to people who are not beginners. We can all get stuck on these things because we're in the world immersed in a different culture of eating than what we're trying to do ourselves. So don't get stuck, you'll get through it. Watch more of our videos. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.